Hi there friends, this is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Crafts, and today I'm going to show you the second part of my new slow stitch kit and slow stitch project. It's a Valentine heart project, and you can either decorate it for Valentine's Day or just use the general theme of hearts on it. I have, in the first section, I showed you how to kind of assemble all the pieces and put them on, and in the second session, since then I have started doing some slow stitch on it. And I'll show you some of those things, and I will hold it up a little bit. I have done just some regular running stitches throughout, kind of all the way around the perimeter, and then through some of the other areas. This is a back stitch here using 6 strands. I did this heart I did separately. I sewed on some of the things on here and I slow stitched it, and did some little French knots, stitched around the outside, and then I put it down, and I have since anchored it down in most spots. I still have over here to get to. I slow stitched around the conversation hearts. I sewed the bow down. Over here I have made a rose, and I'm going to put some leaves on there in a minute, but I was going to show you how to make the rose. So I'll do another one in this spot. I'm just going to take a pencil or a pen. I think a pencil will work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I'm going to put some dots down. I'll show you the configuration on this paper, and I'll show it to you a little bigger so that you can see it. So put it, that's the top dot. Then a little ways down there's a center dot. And straight over from there is the side. And down from there is the bottom. Okay? Now there is not one over on this side. And I'll show you the whole thing there. So what I'm going to do, so you have your 4 dots. I would suggest you do this for the first couple that you do. You may be able to do it without the dots afterwards, and the dots will be covered up by the threads. So, and you can use a more of a Sharpie if you want. I think I might try that. Let me see if I've got one here. It's just that's a big Sharpie. I need a smaller Sharpie. Here's one. I'll have this next rose a little bit further over. I'll have it further over towards this side. Okay, so here's the top. And going down a ways, I'm going to make the center. Here's the bottom. And then I'm going to go over here to the side and make the side. So I made my 3 dots, and then one to the left side. Okay, now I already have my thread from this last rose that I made, so I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to come up. If you're just starting, you make a knot. You come up in the top knot, I've got this doubled up, so I've got to pull this through here. I hope everyone's doing okay today. It's going to be a big deep freeze here. I live in Colorado. It's going to be a deep freeze here starting tomorrow, and possibly some snow. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to the middle dot. I'm going to go over to the side dot. Back over to the middle dot. Go down to the bottom dot. And then go down in the middle again. Okay. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to come up through the middle again, but a little ways over so that I don't catch that one I just made and take it out. Because if it goes in the same hole, it'll come out. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath these 3 threads. I'm going to either go under them or over them, and I'm going to vary. So the first one, I go under it. The second one, I'm going over it. And the third one, I'm going under. Okay, and it starts to form a circle. Okay, I just went under, so I'm going to go over this next one, which is the top one. The next one is under. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to the outside, so make sure that this loop is, that you don't pull it too tight. Okay, I just went under, so I'm going to go over that bottom, go over this bottom one, under this top one. Kind of holding this down with my thumb so I don't pull it too tight. Just pull it kind of in a circular motion again. Okay. Under, over, under. Okay. Using my fingernail to kind of, I think I might have pulled that a little bit too tight, so I'm going to get out just a little bit. Okay, and I just went under, so I'm going to go over, and then under. I'm just going to keep going around like this. Over, under. Over. I'm going to turn it. Just went under. Just if you forget, just check and see. You just went. I just went under on this one, so I need to go over on this one and under on that one. Basically, it just forms a circle. And I can keep going if I want. I think I might do one more round. I just went under, so I'm going to go over, under, over, with that bottom one. I'm just holding it down, under. Okay. So this second one's a little bit bigger, and you'll notice the reason that it's a little bit bigger is because I made my my drawing of the 4 dots. I made it a little bit bigger down here in this area. So you can really make them any size you want. Okay, now I'm going to take my thread and I'm just going to go over the top and to the back. And that'll kind of anchor it down a little bit. I'm not going to pull too tight because I don't want that to be too tight. Okay. So now I'd start another one if I wanted another one. I think the 2 is good. I think what I am going to do is I am going to come across to here, and I'm going to use this extra thread to do a running stitch across here. You could do this, you can design it ahead of time. You can make a pattern of it and design it ahead of time. Or you can just, like I'm doing it, just kind of wing it and decide as you go what stitches you want to put down there. You know, I did notice this is coming up a bit here. So what I could do is I could go back and I could tack that down. But then I'm going to wait until I put some leaves on, and I think I can tack it down with the leaves that I put on. Okay, we're coming across here. And I unthread my needle, which is fine, that happens. And when I get this finished, I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to put it on my Etsy shop, which already has this kit up there for anyone who wants to order it. It would make a great Valentine's present for someone. Either you could do it if you can get it done in time, or you can give it to a stitcher as a present. That would be fun too. Okay, I'll stop there for now. I'm going to put some leaves on these roses. And I'm just going to use the basic leaf stitch that I use, or it's also could be called a lazy daisy stitch. Thread my needle, threading it off camera so I can see better. There we go. Put a knot in it, just the way I do a knot. There's different ways to do a knot, whichever the one you learned. You do that. Okay. Remember I said I kind of left this a little bit too loose here. See how this is just a little bit too loose on this part of the rose? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up, try to catch that in the leaf to anchor it down a bit. I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to go down almost in the same area. And I'm going to come up on top of the loop that I'm making, and I'll show you here in a second. See how I'm on? This is from over here. It's getting caught in there. See how that loops on top? And I'm going to kind of gently shape it. Then I'm going to go down on the outside and get that loop so that it gets anchored down. I'll do another leaf right here. I can come up through right through the edge of that red there to anchor it down a bit. I'm going to make a loop. Hold that loop with my thumb. Then go straight out. Then I'm going to pull it till it forms the loop. And I'll insert the needle at the back of it there. Okay, I think I'll put another one over here. So I'm going to kind of go to the back, and I'm going to strand it up a little ways. Go down, make my loop. The longer I make this, the longer the leaf will be. So I can make them tiny, or I can make them medium. Which is kind of what I'm doing on here. I'm making them more medium. Or I can make them bigger. You can also, if you want to, you can also do a few stitches within that. See where that back fabric is showing through, the pink is showing through. You can also take your needle and go in and fill that in a bit if you want the whole leaf to be filled in more. I'm good with the way it looks there. I'm going to go over to this rose and that's the back. I'm going to turn to the front. On this rose, I have a little piece of thread, the red thread that's showing right there. I'm going to make my leaf cover right over that so it kind of hides that a little bit. I'm going to come up, go back down near that same area. I'm going to go kind of straight down. Since this is a smaller rose, I'm going to make the leaves a little bit smaller than the other one. If I can. If I don't, then that's fine. It's not a big deal. And then I'll go outside the loop and down. And I can press this down with my thumbnail. My thumb. Kind of get it to lay flat. Let's make a couple more up here. Okay. So this time I am going to make it a little bit smaller. There. Well, no, it's about the same size. That's okay. Go down outside. Now I almost went over this. See this purple stitching here? That's okay. I can do that. Okay, I'm going to come up. I'm going to go down, make my loop. Get a little bit smaller. This time I did make it a little bit smaller. And then go down. Okay, so that's some roses. Usually I show you how to do a new stitch about, I try to anyway, when I'm doing each slow stitch project. I try to show a new stitch every once in a while, but that's the rose stitch. Now I still haven't tacked this down, so I think I will go over here. And I go to the back and I just go up there using my stitches that I already had rather than just like strand it all the way across like that. This is thread that is ended, so I probably should cut that off. I'll do that in a bit. Okay. Let's see where I came up here. I'm going to come up here. Not quite. What I'm doing on this heart is I'm just going on the very inside of it and then going back down on the outside of it to kind of hold it down. I'm trying not to erase too much of this lettering. Even though you can't really see it, you can still see that it says "Be Mine." I like things like that go off the page, so to speak. Or sometimes I'll leave things hanging off the side. That's just my way of doing things. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it that way. I think it makes it look kind of more three-dimensional. Okay, so let's up here. How am I doing for time? I have a little bit left. I already told you that this kit's available over in my Etsy shop. I really appreciate all the people that have ordered from me from Etsy. If you are kind of more experienced and have a bigger stash of all the things that you need, then you can just follow along with my tutorials and do it on your own. My kits that have patterns that come with them might be useful to you if you don't draw, or if you have a hard time making the shapes that are on the pattern, like the log cabin pattern and the beach house and English cottage and so on. Okay, and you come up. I hope to eventually have my patterns available on my website as the patterns only rather than the whole kit, so that people from that aren't in the United States and can, if you're in the United States, you can get free shipping on my Etsy products. But if you're not, like say you're in the UK or Australia or somewhere, you can't get my patterns, or you can't order my kits without having to pay like the same amount the kit costs in postage, or sometimes even more. So that's why I thought, well, eventually I'd like to have my patterns for my Slow Stitch kits available. And also for those of you that already have a lot of the materials that you might use. I'm having a hard time with this threading. That always happens on camera for me. I guess I get nervous or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that down for now. What else do I need to do on this? I will probably need to sew on. I've already sewn on a few of the items. I sewed on this little tiny heart right here. This little rhinestone heart that will come in the kit. I've got some of these little sequin flowers. I think I'll sew those on over here. Right one. Just put this stuff out here. This butterfly. Put that up here, or maybe over here. And maybe I'll put these 3 flowers over here somewhere. Also need to do a little bit more. What I do is I look for the places that are kind of standing up that don't have any stitching on them. And I would either want to put things down to kind of hold that down more. Like maybe that butterfly could go there. And these flowers over here to anchor the fabric down a little better. I might want to do these hearts somewhere. Like I mentioned in the first video, you don't want to kind of junk it up too much. So kind of less is more once you get this much on it. You can always do more stitching on it, and with a neutral color, and it won't like jump out at you. I thank you for joining me today. I thank you for joining me today. I wish you peace of mind. And have fun with this kit if you decide to make it. I appreciate you, and if you can, if you're not subscribed already, I would love it if you would subscribe. If you are subscribed, then give me a like. Hit the like button. I really would appreciate that as well. Bye now.